the 8th of December 2025. This is a brand new edition of Newsfirst Primetime News coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo, bringing you tonight's bulletin for the Newsfirst team. I am Jaima Ratnayaka.
And I'm Shalini Ratnavira. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
Northeast monsoon gradually establishing. Heavy showers expected until the 12th. President visits Noor Elia amid disaster recovery efforts. China sends aircraft with 400 million rupees in aid to Sri Lanka. Yasantha Kodagoda appointed acting Chief Justice.
On to tonight's top story. The Department of Meteorology says that the northeast monsoon conditions are gradually establishing across the island. Accordingly, an increase in rainfall is expected from tomorrow until the 12th of December.
The Department of Meteorology says that heavy rainfall between 75 and 100 millimeters may occur in the northern, eastern, north central and Uva provinces, as well as in the Galle, Mathura, Nuwara and Matale districts. Showers are also possible in the western and Sabragamua provinces and in the Kandy district during the afternoon, according to the Met Department. Meanwhile, the landslide red alerts issued for several divisional secretariat divisions in the Kandy, Galle, Kurunegala and Matala districts remain in effect. Accordingly, in the Kandy district, red warnings for landslides will apply to the following divisional secretariat divisions. They are Patha Hewahata, Harispattuwa, Dulosbage, Tumpane, Pujapitiya, Udunuwara, Gangawata Korala, Akurana, Minipe, Udapalata, Hatraliyadda, Kundasale, Pathadumbara, Panvila, Madadumbara, Udunuwara, Deltota, Pasbagi Korale, Yatinuwara and Ganga Ihala Korale. In the Galle district, red alerts apply to the Bulat Kohupitiya, Mavanella, Aranayaka, Galigamuwa, Varakapola, Galle, Yatiantota and Rambukkana divisional secretariat divisions. Meanwhile, in the Kurunegala district, they apply to Ridigama, Alauwa, Mavatagama, Mallavapitiya and the Polgahavela DS divisions. In the Matale district, red warnings are in effect for Rattota, Vilgamuwa, Laggala Pallegama, Ambanganga Korale, Ukuvela, Matale, Naula, Pallepola and the Yatavatta divisional secretariat divisions. The National Building Research Organization says that landslide alerts are also active in several divisional secretariat divisions in the Badulla, Kurunegala, Nuwara, Ratnapura, Galle, Gampaha and Munaragala districts. Meanwhile, the Department of Irrigation says that the spill gates of 30 main reservoirs remain open. PSD Herath, the director of the department's water management unit, says that the spill gates of many other reservoirs are now open as well. He urges residents of surrounding areas to remain vigilant. All spill gates of the Natchaduwa reservoir are now open, with water being released into the Malwa Toya.
President Anura Kumara Dissanayake reviewed relief services and reconstruction efforts in the Noor Elia district, which was severely affected by the recent natural disasters. The district committee convened under the leadership of the president for this purpose.
A detailed discussion was held regarding all roads in the Noor Elia district damaged by the recent cyclone and the time required for their restoration.
We expect around 120 million rupees for the immediate reopening of roads. In addition, approximately 100 million rupees will be needed to construct temporary bridges for damaged sections. For culverts, embankments and severely affected road segments, we estimate about 14 billion rupees. This is a rough estimate.
So first, we need to urgently reopen the roads. That must be done this year. Funds are available, correct? Secondly, the construction of temporary bridges for damaged sections. This also needs to be completed within this year. DA's total national estimate was 190 billion rupees. Out of that, 40 billion rupees can be covered from already allocated provisions. That leaves around 150 billion rupees that is still required. I believe we can provide that. Therefore, start all these works immediately. I will ensure the necessary allocations are provided so that we can finish quickly.
එනිසා මේක වැඩ කටයුතු ඔක්කොම පටන් ගන්න අපි අවශ්‍ය වෙන ප්‍රතිපාදන ලබා දෙන්න ඉක්මනින්ම අවසන් කරන්න බලාගන්නේ.
අපිට RD පාරවල් PRD පාරවල් සහ පළාත්
We have about 800 roads that do not belong to the RDA, PRDA or any local authority. They are not gazetted under anyone's responsibility. These roads are vital for rural life and public transport, including bus routes. These must also be counted among the priority roads.
ඒ පාරවල් 800 ගානේ.
නුවරඑළියේ පාරවල් කීපයක් තියෙනවා. රජයේ කිසිදු ආයතනයකට අයිති නැති. ඒවා කම්පැනිස් වලට අයිති ඒවා.
අද ඩිසිෂන් එකක් ගන්න මේ වතුවල පාරවලට මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා.
ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ස්ටඩි එකක් කරලා වර්ගීකරණය කරලා අදාළ ආයතනවලට පවර්ලා ඉවර කරන්න.
We need to conduct a study, classify them and assign responsibility to the relevant institutions. Otherwise, people will continue using these roads. They are voters after all, but local councils currently have no authority to repair them. Estate roads that connect to major towns should be taken over by the government. If a road is only for internal estate operations, then it should remain with the estate. However, if it connects to a main town or serves other public purposes, then it should be handed over to the local council or the PRDA. Otherwise, no one will maintain them. Even though people use them for more than just estate access, they use them to reach towns and for other public activities.
රටත් එන්න පාවිච්චි කරනවා නේද? අනිකුත් පොදු කටයුතු වලට ඒ පාර පාවිච්චි කරනවා. වත්තේ වැඩ වලට විතරක් නෙවෙයි.
Meanwhile, the committee also discussed the damage caused to irrigation canals in the Newar district and the urgent measures required to address those issues. The president further inquired from officials about the various opinions circulating in the country regarding the Kotmale Reservoir.
අපිට ඉස්සෙල්ලාම කොත්මලේ ජලාශය ගැන පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් කරනවා. මම ඉන්නවද කාන් එක ගන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා. මම ලොකු මතයක් කරනවා ඕගොල්ලෝ හරියටම කියන්නේ මොකද්ද මේ කියන්නේ.
ගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමනි 27 වෙනිදා ලොකු ජල ප්‍රහාරයක් ආවා.
On the 27th, there was a massive inflow of water that the dam could not bear. The water flow was 2,720 cubic meters per second. This was the highest inflow of water in the history of the reservoir. We released the water in order to safeguard the dam. This reduced the water level by the 28th. Thereafter, we closed the sluice gates. By the evening of the 28th, the water levels had once again reached sluice gates slightly to balance the inflow of water. As per tradition, the sirens were activated prior to the release of water.
සයිරන් එක ගහලා මේ නලාව හඬවල තමයි අපි ඒක මේවා කරන්නේ. ඒ විදිහට තමයි ක්‍රියාත්මක කරේ.
නලාව හඬවලා දොරටු විවෘත කරන්න කොච්චර වගේ කපාරතරයක් තියෙනවද?
විනාඩි 10කට කලින් නලාව හඬවනවා. ඊට පස්සේ දොරටු විවෘත කරනකොට ආයෙසරයක් නලාව හඬවනවා.
විනාඩි 10යි තියෙන්නේ.
ඔව් 10යි.
ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන් විනාඩි 10කට පෙර හඳුනා ගැනීම හැකියාවක් නැද්ද? දැන් අපි තව පැය භාගයකින් ඇරිය යුතුයි. පැයකින් ඇරිය යුතුයි වගේ කියලා හඳුනා ගැනීම අවස්ථාවක් නැද්ද?
ඒක සර් ඉම්ප්ලොයි එකත් එක්ක එන විදිහට තමයි සෙන්නේ සර්.
It all depends on the inflow of water. This can be very ad hoc. If the power station is in operation, then water levels will reduce faster. If the power station is in operation, then water levels will reduce faster. However, when we opened it this time, it was only by very little. The volume was around 170 cubic meters per second. That is very low and not a cause for floods. The reason the sirens are sounded is to warn people who come to the river banks for different activities like fishing or sightseeing. This is an old procedure and this is mentioned in our manuals as well.
අපි මැනුවල් වලක් තියෙනවා ඒ විදිහට කරන්න කියලා.
දැන් සමහර තැන්වලින් මතයක් කියනවා ඕගොල්ලෝ ශනිකව විවෘත කරා වගේ අදහසක් ඉදිරිපත් කරන එකක් වෙන මම දැක්කා මීඩියා වල.
ශනිකව නෙමෙයි.
It wasn't an ad hoc decision. The inflow of water was just too high and out of control. It was a step-by-step decision that we took. Had we delayed the opening of the gates any longer, we would have had to open the sluice gates by a much larger amount. The volume of water leaving the reservoir would have been much higher then.
කරගෙන තමයි මේවා කරන්නේ.
Officials pointed out that approximately 4,700 acres of paddy fields in Newar have been damaged, but except for 500 acres, the remaining fields can still be cultivated for the Maha season. Unauthorized constructions, blocked canals and the failure to expand the spillway at the Gregory Lake were identified as contributing factors to the flooding in Newar
නුවරඑළිය නගරයේ යට වෙන්න මොකද්ද බලපෑමේ?
ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් ඇලමාර්ග පටු වෙලා තියෙනවා. අනවසර ඉදිකිරීම. එතකොට ඒ වගේ
ඒ කියන්නේ දිගු කාලීන ප්‍රශ්නයක ප්‍රතිඵලයක්ද?
එහෙමයි.
එහෙම නැතුව මේ වෙලාවේ ශනිකව මොකක් කරගත්තු
ශනිකව ඇති වෙච්ච දේ බලපෑව. එතකොට වැවේ සොරවුව අඩි 1.5 සොරවු දෙකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක ප්‍රමාණවත් මදි මෙච්චර ජල කඳක් බහින්න. ඉතින් ඔය ප්‍රශ්නත් එක්ක ඇල මාර්ග සලකුණු කරලා ඇල පුළුල් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ දෙපස තියෙන අනවසර ඉදිකිරීම ඉවත් කරන්න ඕනේ. සොරවුව විශාල කරන්න ඕනේ.
දැන් වෙවේ අයිති තියෙන්නේ මහා ඔගොල්ලෝ ගාව.
තොරාරිය ආහිතේ විතරයි.
අයිති තියෙන ප්‍රාදේශීය දෙකම තමයි.
පාරිමාර්ග
දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට පවරනවා නම් හොඳ අපි DCC වල තීරණ අරගත්තා.
මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ ඒක?
මේ සාකච්ඡා කරා යෝජනා කරා වාරිමාර්ග පවරන්න. නමුත් සභාවයකට විරුද්ධ වුණා සභාව පවරන්නේ ගැටලු තිබ්බේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ සභාවට ওই තාක්ෂණික සහාය නෑ නේද? ඒ නිසා ඇත්තටම අපි කරන්න ඕන ඒ තාක්ෂණ නිලධාරීන් ඉන්නේ වාරිමාර්ග දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේනේ. ඒ නිසා ඒක වාරිමාර්ග දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට පවරන එක නේද වඩා සුදුසු. අපි මෙහෙම කරමු. ඒ කියන්නේ වාරිමාර්ග දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට අපි වැව පවරලා ඒකේ ආර්ථික ක්‍රියාකාරකම් තියෙනවනේ. ඒ ආර්ථික ක්‍රියාකාරකම් පිළිබඳව නගර සභාවත් එක්ක ඇග්‍රීමන්ට් එකකට එමු නේද? ඔව් ගිවිසුමක් දාලා අපි ඒකෙම. ඒකට හොඳයි නේද?
President Anukumara Dissanayake inspected the Rendapula area in Valimada, which was recently devastated by a landslide.
The Ministry of Agriculture announced that financial assistance of 150,000 rupees per hectare is now being provided to farmers whose paddy fields were destroyed by recent floods and landslides.
මේ මහකන්නේ අපි වීවගා වශයෙන් හෙක්ටාර් 1,08,000ක පමණ ප්‍රමාණයක්
Approximately 108,000 hectares of paddy cultivation sowed during the Maha season has been completely destroyed. 87,244 hectares of maize was cultivated this season, out of which around 6,600 hectares have been completely destroyed. When considering other field crops, a total of around 27,600 hectares have been cultivated. 11,000 hectares out of this have been completely destroyed. When we consider vegetables, 2,613 hectares out of 5,893 hectares planted in the hill country have been totally destroyed. When considering vegetables in the low country, also known as Pahatrata, 3,530 hectares were completely destroyed out of 8,990 hectares. We were informed through a circular by the Ministry of Finance that financial allocations will be made to compensate for the initial investment borne to cultivate these farmlands and also to redevelop them to their former state. Accordingly, it has been decided to distribute a sum of 150,000 rupees per hectare for destroyed paddy lands. A similar amount of compensation will be provided per hectare of maize and other field crop cultivations that have been completely destroyed. The compensation will be 200,000 rupees per hectare. Initial steps are currently being taken by 3 institutions including the Mahavali Authority. We have been notified that certain farmers have accessed their farmlands and have begun cultivating once more. We have expedited this process, taking into account all of these matters. Assistant Agrarian Research Officers of each area are already gathering the relevant data. Once the data is received, the funds will be released. If any cultivator is facing difficulties or delays in accessing the compensation, they can contact our hotline, which is 1918.
කියන්නේ මේ ආධාරය ලබා ගැනීමට යම් අපහසුතාවයක් නැත්නම් යම් ප්‍රමාදයක් වගේ පේනවා නම් උන්ට කෙලින්ම පුළුවන් අපගේ 1918 ක්ෂණික දුර්ගාන්තයට කතා කරලා ඒ තොරතුරු කියන
The first aircraft carrying aid supplies donated by the Chinese government for those affected by the disaster arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport today.
A large Boeing 747-400 cargo plane carrying a consignment of aid valued at 400 million rupees and donated by the People's Republic of China for the disaster-affected people in the country arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport today.
So we are very happy to come to here to receive charter cargo flight carry flood relief supply to Sri Lanka. This is supplies is worth 10 million RMB to help Sri Lanka friends to tide over the difficult time. The Chinese government decided to donate 1 million in cash assistance. And the 10 mini MB supplies. Now the supplies are already in Sri Lanka. I think that it will conducive to help Sri Lanka friends to tide over the difficult time. Besides this, just as the Minister mentioned, the Chamber of the Chinese Commerce and the Overseas Chinese Society in Sri Lanka all launched donations initiative. Up to now, Chamber of the Commerce of Chinese enterprise has already connected more than 20 mini rubies. The China Overseas Society already connected 10 mini rubies. We will continue to do our best. So far, as I know, in the National Department of the Chinese Communist Party of China Central Committee has decided to donate 1 mini RMB supplies to Sri Lanka through the party channel. You look, we help Sri Lanka friends have a different layer from party to party, from government to government, from people to people. Yeah, Sri Lanka, we are good brothers and good sisters. We will try our best to help Sri Lanka tide over the difficult time. We do believe under the strong leadership of His Excellency AKD, Sri Lanka friends will rebuild your beautiful home in the short and near future.
China was always that come forward when we are good time and always in bad time. So on behalf of the HE, the President, I must extend my sincere thanks to the People's Republic of China government and also the Excellency of coordinating this huge amount of relief supplies that which will be definitely go into the hands of these affected people. And there are many more relief supplies are going to come worth of very huge money. So that will be released and then be distributed to the affected people.
The consignment included life jackets, tents, blankets and bed sheets weighing 84,525 kilograms.
The Indian Army medical team, which established a field hospital in Mahayangana, hosted a media briefing.
Today is the fourth day since the Indian Army established a field hospital in Mahayangana. During the media briefing hosted today, the commander of the Indian Medical Army team, Jagneet Gill, stated that the team is ready to assist patients that visit them.
My team has been working here for last 4 days and we have been able to treat more than around 2,500 patients. We are expecting almost around 800 to 1,000 strength of patients which are coming every day to us. We are a team of around 85 individuals and we have a medical team as well as a supports team which is self-sufficient. The facilities that we are offering to the people of Sri Lanka are the operation theatres, the OPDs, which is the surgical OPD, the ortho OPD, family OPD, and also the dental part of it. We have been also able to successfully establish a laboratory here and also an X-ray section. We are also running minor OTs as well as a major OTs, and we have been able to help out patients who needed surgery. We are presently concentrating only on the emergency surgeries. We've also been able to, we are also distributing medicine for all the people who are coming to us, and we are trying to provide the assistance in whatever possible manner we can do. I would also like to thank all the people of Sri Lanka who have been very, very resilient, who have come to support us.
So far, the hospital has treated over 2,500 patients, offering OPD services, dental services and other vital medical services to victims affected by the cyclonic storm Ditwa.
Acting High Commissioner of the United Kingdom to Sri Lanka, Sirasa announced that the UK has prepared aid to support those affected by cyclonic storm Ditwa. The Acting High Commissioner made this announcement in Gampaha today.
International aid efforts for communities devastated by Cyclone Ditwa intensified today as major consignments of relief supplies arrived from the United Kingdom. In Gampaha, the UK High Commission announced that aid is being prepared to be sent out to communities impacted by Cyclone Ditwa.
I'm here at the Gampaha branch of the Red Cross with my wonderful colleagues as we prepare UK aid to be sent out to communities most affected by Cyclone Ditwa. As part of our initial announcement of £1 million support to Sri Lanka, we are working with those families who most need it to provide emergency supplies and life-saving support. The UK support is designed to support them as they get back on their feet safely and with dignity. We're working with the government of Sri Lanka, the International Red Cross, the Sri Lankan Red Cross, humanitarian partners and the UN to take forward that recovery process in the coming months.
The UK affirmed their commitment to working closely with the government of Sri Lanka and local partners throughout the critical response and recovery phases.
US and Sri Lanka Air Forces joined forces to deliver emergency supplies across 3 districts.
Two US Air Force C-130 Super Hercules aircraft teamed up with the Sri Lanka Air Force today to accelerate the delivery of essential supplies and food items to communities in need. The operation covered 3 key districts, Ampara, Jaffna and Anuradhapura, with cargo flown into Sri Lanka Air Force bases before being swiftly distributed to affected areas. The US Air Force handled the heavy lifting, moving major tonnage at speed, while Sri Lanka Air Force ground teams ensured rapid last-mile delivery.
The government has now begun providing relief as announced to support communities affected by Cyclone Ditwa.
The relief program, covering all sectors including families, individuals, businesses and production, has now been activated for those affected by the disaster. Under this program, a one-time allowance of 25,000 rupees is being provided for cleaning homes and 50,000 rupees for purchasing household items to resettle per housing unit. In addition, families who have lost their homes or whose homes are completely damaged will receive 25,000 rupees for households with 2 members or fewer and 50,000 rupees for households with more than 2 members for up to 3 months. Homeowners without a place to live will also receive up to 25,000 rupees for renting a house for a maximum of 6 months. Deputy Minister Eranga Gunasekara explained the government's relief measures during a visit to the affected communities in Angoda and Balagama.
By today or tomorrow, we will definitely be able to deposit funds directly into the accounts of those affected in this. So I am confident that in most cases, we will be able to disperse the first tranche tonight itself. But even if not, it will definitely happen tomorrow. The information is coming in quickly, but we need to verify the data carefully. For that, we have a special operation with the district secretary and divisional secretaries forming operations committees to enter the data 24 hours a day.
Today, at the Dulapitiya Divisional Secretariat premises, 25,000 rupees in relief funds was distributed to families affected by flooding.
අසරණලා ඉන්න මිනිස්සුන්ට ඒකත් ලොකු සැනසීමක්. ඔවම අමාරු වෙట్లా ඉන්න වෙලාවක ඒදා ලොකු දෙයක් ඉතින් මේ අපදාත් තත්ත්වයට පත් වෙලා තියෙන වෙලාවක මිනිස්සු මානසිකවත් ආර්ථික වශයෙන් වෙట్లా ඉන්න වෙලාවක මේ රජෙන් ලබා දෙන මූල්‍ය ආධාරය ඉතාම වටිනවා.
In the Kalaoya Nochiagama area, relief distributions took place today as follows. In Vallava Kurunagala, 25,000 rupees per family has now been provided to 156 families to help clean their homes.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
Valuable FD, the symbol of stability. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
In land, water and air, working together from all directions, carrying hope and relief to the people. Today marks the 11th day of the Sirasa Shakti Sahana Yatra flood relief drive.
Hundreds of strangers, united by compassion, continue to walk into the MTV-MBC Media Network's head office and regional centers, volunteering their time and energy. Their one mission is to ensure that the aid given by the people reaches the disaster-hit areas as swiftly as possible.
Cyclone Ditwa came and left behind a trail of destruction. But the humanity of our nation still stands unshaken. Day and night, setting aside all divisions of race and religion, our own people have marched forward for 11 continuous days with the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra flood relief drive for the sake of our own. Today too, operations continued non-stop at the MTV-MBC head office premises in Braybrook Place, Colombo, and the Department Broadcasting Centre, and at the Special Centre in Kahaduwatta, Gaul.
ටීවී එකේ බලනකොට දැක්කම විනාශ වෙලා තියෙන හැටි අපේ රටේ ජනතාව නිසා මට හරි වේදනාවක් වුණා. එතන ඉඳලා මට පුළුවන් මම ලොකු දෙයක් කරන මිනිහෙක් නෙමෙයි. මම ත්‍රිවිල්ලයක් දුවන මිනිස්සෙක්. ඉතින් මට හිතුණා කොමාරි මේක කරන්න ඕන කියලා. මට හරි සන්තෝෂයි ඒකට සහභාගී වෙන්න ලැබුණාට. දැන් මේ වගේ තත්ත්වයෙන් අපිට මොකක් හරි කරන්න ඕන කියලා හිතුණා. තව ටිකක් ගේන්න අදහසෙන් තමයි ඉන්නේ. මේ වෙලාවේ මේ රටේ මිනිස්සු ගොඩක් අසරණ වෙලා ඉතින් ගෙවල් නාය ගිහිල්ලා ඉතින් මේවා දැක්කම ඉතින් අපිටත් මේ රට වෙනුවෙන් මොනාරි කර්තව්‍යයක් කරන්න
For the thousands devastated by landslides, broken roads and loved ones buried under the mud, countless people are bringing aid. These essential items are being packed swiftly to be delivered within 24 hours to our own people in distress. Under the full supervision of the Sri Lanka Army's commander, Lieutenant General Lasantha Rodrigo, the army has joined hands with Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra flood relief drive for this mission. By water, by air, by land, the goal of the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra flood relief drive is to place essential supplies directly into the hands of those affected. At the Department Broadcasting Centre, work continues tirelessly for the 11th day for the people. Today, aid donated by the people at Department was dispatched to the Makale district.
The Sirasa Shakti Sahana Yatra. Sri Lanka needs you. Please donate the following dry rations and help those who need it the most. Rice, dal, noodles, soya meat, canned fish and biscuits. You can hand over these items at the following collection points: the MTV head office, Braybrook Place, Colombo 2, the Department Studio Complex in Panipitia. For further inquiries, please call 076 552 5000. Together, we can make a difference.
Restoration work in disaster-affected areas is now progressing rapidly. Here's a look.
Under Indian government assistance, work has commenced to install a new bridge near the 11th kilometre post on the Parantan-Mullaitivu A35 road. The project is a joint effort by the Indian Army, Sri Lanka Army and the Road Development Authority. The Road Development Authority, with assistance from the Sri Lanka Army, restored several access roads in the sacred city of Anuradhapura that were damaged by recent floods. Restoration work is ongoing near the Kumara Alla Bridge on the Mahiyangane Dampulla main road, damaged by flood following the opening of the Moragahakanda Reservoir spill gates, which caused the Abang River to overflow. The operation is led by the Road Development Authority. Residents have begun repairing the bund of the Akkarayan Vaver in Kilinochchi, which was damaged by recent floods. Flooding caused by the overflow of the Andaloya submerged Uhana and Kumarigama in Ampara. While waters are receding, farmers' organizations report that about 200 hectares of Maha-season paddy cultivations have been completely destroyed. Several breaches have occurred in Andaloya's embankments, leaving fields covered in sand. 20 families from 15 houses in Visantramale village, Deltota, have been moved to safe locations after severe landslide damage. The area remains classified as a high-risk zone. Restoration work continued today along the Polonnaruwa-Batiklo railway line between Manampitiya and Gallalla with assistance from the Sri Lanka Army and staff of the railway department. The Mahavali Authority, Sri Lanka Army and Irrigation Department are jointly repairing the Mahavali Protective Bund in Kantale after several breaches caused flooding in Suryapura, Samadpura and Samanalapalama. Water has receded and the residents have returned to their homes. Following landslides on the 27th, 87 people from 27 families in Hevanakumbura Tawana in Valimada and 280 people from 120 families in Lower Ambevela remain in temporary shelters. Our reporters visited the area for the first time today, witnessing homes swallowed by earth.
Newsfirst with the people. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Welcome back to the news. In more local news, Supreme Court Justice Yasantha Kodagada was sworn in as the acting Chief Justice. Supreme Court Judge and President's Counsel Yasantha Kodagada was sworn in as acting Chief Justice before President Anurukumara Dissanayake at the Presidential Secretariat today. The appointment was made following the overseas travel of Chief Justice Preeti Padman Surasena. Presidential Secretary Dr. Nandana Sanat Kumar Nayaka was also present at the occasion. The forum, titled Wellness Redefined, the Lifestyle Medicine Framework for Modern Sri Lanka, was organized by the Sri Lanka Medical Association in collaboration with the Sri Lankan Society of Lifestyle Medicine, and it took place in Colombo.
The Wellness Redefined, the Lifestyle Medicine Framework for Modern Sri Lanka Forum, organized by the Sri Lanka Medical Association in collaboration with the Sri Lankan Society of Lifestyle Medicine, was held in Colombo yesterday. The event focused on forming health adoption of lifestyle medicine practices to improve overall health and well-being across Sri Lanka.
In some developing international news, a magnitude 7.2 earthquake has hit near Japan's northern coast, prompting a tsunami warning. The Japan Meteorological Agency said the quake hit off the coast of Aomori Prefecture earlier today, local time. A tsunami warning is in place for Aomori, Hokkaido and Iwate prefectures. In more international news, Thailand launched airstrikes on Cambodia after fighting broke out along their disputed border, with both sides accusing each other of breaking a US-brokered ceasefire.
At least one Thai soldier had been killed and 8 were wounded in the fresh clashes that intensified around 5 a.m. local time as air support was called in to hit Cambodian military targets. Thailand's Air Force said that Cambodia mobilized heavy weaponry, repositioned combat units and prepared support elements that could escalate military operations. It also said in a statement that these developments prompted the use of air power to deter and reduce Cambodia's military capabilities. Cambodia's defense ministry said in a statement that the Thai military had launched dawn attacks on its forces at 2 locations following days of provocative actions, and added that Cambodian troops had not responded.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived at Downing Street for talks with Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz today.
The leaders are expected to discuss the latest Ukraine peace plan, drafted during talks between Ukrainian and US officials in Florida last week. In brief comments before the talk, Starmer said, quote, "We stand with Ukraine," unquote, while Zelensky said, quote, "We need to make some important discussions," unquote. The summit comes after US President Donald Trump claimed Zelensky had not yet read the latest US proposal to end the war, adding he was a little disappointed in the Ukrainian leader. As Trump made his comments, Zelensky said he would be briefed by his negotiators, adding some issues can only be discussed in person. As Volodymyr Zelensky lands for talks in London, there has been another Russian attack on southeast Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia. At least 7 people have been injured and at least 5 apartment blocks damaged in the attack.
Taking a look at some sports news. The press conference for the 31st EVA Netball tournament took place today in Colombo.
The 31st EVA Netball tournament, organized by EVA in partnership with ICL brands of the Capital Maharaja Group, is set to take place this January.
This All-Island and Open Schools tournament, which is organized by the Western Province Netball Association, is scheduled to get underway at the Sri Lanka Air Force Ground, Slave Island, Colombo on the 31st of January 2026 and 1st of February 2026. The event is being held with the approval of the Ministry of Education under their stipulated guidelines, and we hope with the blessings of the Ministry of Sports in the absence of a federation. This much anticipated tournament will feature several talented netball players on a competitive platform, all vying for the EVA tournament trophy. While the event will see the participation of female and male clubs from across the island, the highlight of the event is the all schools that participate in this open tournament. No doubt a highlight in their annual netball tournament calendar. Your support in spreading awareness of this tournament is greatly appreciated again.
This tournament is not only about the spirit of competition, but also EVA's enduring commitment to women's empowerment and community development. EVA has supported and encouraged women across Sri Lanka over 3 decades, enabling them to lead by confidence, strength and dignity. As we continue to foster environments where women and girls can thrive both on and off the court, netball trains the players to overcome challenges and use failures and opportunities for growth, and to focus on giving their best rather than obsessing over winning or losing. EVA as a brand which empowers women to lead with confidence, we strongly believe that together we can continue to make a difference in the lives of Sri Lankan women.
The tournament is expected to see teams from across the island participating, bringing together communities and prompting women's empowerment through sport.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for joining us.
Good night.